This is 11 years of dropshipping advice in one video. Got some notes for you, got 10 points. I've generated $11 million in my 11 years of experience. Actually, that's kind of ironic. And you can check out these screenshots here. If I even put them on the screen, I don't even know if I care to validate myself to you. The point here is that I'm about to ruin every course that anybody ever tries to sell you. And you're going to be up to speed on the dropshipping game. You're going to be able to compete. You're going to be able to play ball. Because, look, dropshipping works. It just hasn't been working for you. And the reason is because you're competing with me. I've been dropshipping since before TikTok even existed. And now people are using Callow data to copy and paste products and try to run them. And they're wondering why their shit isn't working. And it's because I'm not going to name any names, but I have students who have been sold $4,500 mentorships, quote unquote, that are teaching them how to copy and paste. What are you even? Bro, I learned how to copy and paste in second grade. So, look, this is not the blind leading the blind, and this is free. I'm even going to tell my students to watch this because for a lot of the new guys coming in, I'm about to give you everything that you don't do and everything that you do instead. Okay, this is what you don't sell. These are the products that you don't pick. Even if everything says they're a winner, if it hits this one thing, you don't pick it. You know, by the end of the last step, bro, oh my God, bro. Look, we're going to go step by step, okay? I'm going to tell you about your products. I'm going to tell you about your website. I'm going to tell you how your ads need to be. I'm going to give you the exact formula and the structure, second by second, on what your videos need to show. No more waiting, bro. Let's just get into the first point. All right. Number one is picking the products for dropshipping. Your winning products, bro, you're not going to be selling no dog toys. Okay? There's a certain type of product that beginners usually try to go for when they're selling in dropshipping. Like every time, even I did it. And we'll get into some of my story and some of my validation later on, maybe in the next video if you guys like this. But don't go for the dog toys. You're going for, well, for one, we're going into Q4. This is going to be the easiest time of your life to get rich. Q4 is amazing. I've spawned businesses out of thin air in Q4, and they just start making money on day 2 or day 3 because the buying power of the ecosystem of the country is so incredibly high. Everybody wants to buy. It's not like you're convincing everyone to buy. They open up TikTok or they open up Facebook and Instagram and they're expecting to see an ad for a gift because they're shopping around. And most people have a hard time finding ideas of what they need to buy people, so they need to be presented ideas. And that's why businesses make so much money in Q4. Okay, moving on, picking your products. You're gonna wanna go for niches if you're in the beginning stages of your dropshipping journey. Your goal is to just start making money, start making profitable sales. Stop trying to look at me and look at everybody else doing 30K days, making $1.5 million in a month in revenue. Stop looking at that, bro. Your goal is to make $100 a day in profit. And then once you can do that, once you have something paying you $100 a day in profit, then you turn it to 2 and you start doubling. 4, 8, 16, 34. Do you get where I'm going with this? It gets much easier once you just focus on the one step in front of you. If you're focusing on step 5 and you're on step 1, you're going to trip. All right? So for your products, the type of thing, let me give you a good example. Let's say you're scrolling through TikTok Shop and you'll see a lot of products that are making sales right now on TikTok Shop. They're going viral. So you believe that that's a validated product because the market is already telling you. But let's say you open the comments up. What you want to see in those comments automatically is going to be, how do I get this? Or they're tagging someone. I need to get this for so-and-so. Okay. Oh, we need this for that situation. If you open up the comments and it's a bunch of laughing emojis, yo, this is ridiculous. Oh my God, I use this and such and it's free at my house. And everyone, you get what I'm saying? So the type of comments in the product are going to tell you a lot. But that's just basic basic understanding, okay? Let's say we have a list of 10 products. You have, out of those 10 products, all of them are going viral. However, you have one that solves a very specific thing, doing just something like that you would never think of. You know what I mean? And the reason that we want to go niche at the beginning is because, as I said, you want to make $100 a day, $200 a day in profit. And the way that we can do that very, 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 very easily is by finding something that only 10 million people in the USA or in the world are involved in. And there isn't many people selling in that market because the market isn't very big. Or maybe there is a lot of people selling in that market, but since the market is so small, there isn't a large amount of innovation. A lot of like dropshipping innovates. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been in the game for 11 years, so I see shit that I sell, we blow it up, and then you see it in Walmart next year. You know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff that we bring over from other countries from dropshipping, it gets introduced to the country through us half of the time, bro. It's kind of hilarious. I have products in my house that I'm actually looking at right now. You can't see them, but they're drop shipping products, and you can go buy them at the store now. You know what I mean? I'm known as the shower head guy, for instance, for not literally through the internet, but through some of my peers. You know, because I made 6 million doing a bunch of shower heads, 4 different types. Blew up the mineral stone shower heads, if you don't already know, right? The shower head with all the stones in it and everything. Did a couple million with that one, bro. None of these were something that I found. You know what I mean? These were something that I was scrolling through the burner method. I see something that's really niche. It's a small ad, you know, but the ad has decent engagement. It's got comments. People are asking questions. Nobody's laughing about it. They're asking questions. They're intrigued. But I see that the ad itself that that person is running that is getting good engagement is fucking trash, whack, low quality, 240p, 480p. You know what I mean? Like, the clips are terrible. The AI voices, they're using AI voices for one. Everything they're using is ripped. They're not even following the formula that I'm going to explain to you. Do you get what I'm saying? So when I say that you can improve upon everything that someone is doing, this is a part of that, right? So you find a niche, you find something small, because on Facebook we can target something small. If we find, well, this isn't small, but I have my dog Aspen right here in front of me laying down, right? And little paw pads for him. Let's say that was niche, okay? Well, it is niche, actually. Let's say we can make it niche because Antarctica, Alaska, Russia, these are markets where paw pads are more dominant, and they use dogs a lot, hunting. You know what I mean? You see how I'm just coming out with marketing angles. So these are interests that we target on Facebook. I have a very small niche product. I'm not trying to sell to everybody. I'm just trying to get mine so I can turn 1 store into 2 stores into 5 stores. But the whole thing is about getting momentum first. So this is how you get the momentum. You start with a small niche. You target that small niche on Facebook. So if it's dog pads, dog paws, whatever, I'm targeting like what kind of dogs. This is what I'm thinking about. What kind of dogs are wearing these? What kind of dogs do they use to hunt that are out in the snow, right? I know huskies are out sledding. Damn, my neighbor just dropped a weight or something. I know my neighbors are out sledding, you know, my neighbors, huskies, Alaskans, you know what I mean? Certain dogs. So I'm targeting these breeds with these dog paws. I'm going niche because I know that these niche people are going to have a higher conversion rate on my ads. They're going to make my ads convert a lot easier. So what am I doing? I'm making a couple dollars, yeah. Maybe I'm breaking even, but bro, I'm gathering data with Facebook. Every sale that I make with Facebook makes my next sale 1 cent cheaper, 10 cents cheaper, you know? I get 500 of those sales. Now I'm churning money, bro. And you see these big ads on Facebook wondering how they have this weird ass product making a bunch of money. It's because they slowly gained momentum in that niche, gained enough data to where Facebook just knew who buys. You start it small, you gain the data, you start firing with momentum, and then after a month of breaking even or making $100 a day in profit, you can start increasing your ad spend. You notice that your profitability is staying the same, you know? But let's say you're making $100 a day or $500 a day. At a certain point, and you try increasing your ad spend and you start losing profitability, it's because you're not seasoning your pixel properly. You know what I mean? It's because you didn't gain enough momentum. You didn't go niche enough. Facebook doesn't know who your customer is, or maybe you need to leave that business small and use the little money it's giving you to keep testing that next product that can do 1,000 a day. You know, later on, like the reason you should keep these small businesses, I'm going to tell you how you're going to get really rich just by doing that, just by having a tiny little business, even if it makes you no money, right? But that's like step 7, 8, 9, or 10 or something like that. Let's get into step 2. Step 1 was the products, bro. Go really niche, but make it solve a problem at the same time. Go small. If this is your first time, go small, go niche, bro. Something that maybe you know, but don't be passionate about it. Don't try to sell something you're passionate about, bro. If that's what you're trying to do, then you need way more money than you currently have. I can promise you that. This is the only thing where you can spend a couple of grand and change your life forever. You know, you learn what you need to fucking, bro. I dropped out of high school and I had like $500 and I started and I lost it all. And I came out with like another $30 or something like that. And I paid some Instagram influencer. That $30 made me like 500, made a few sales on whatever I was selling. And then my life was never the same. I was hooked. Turn that 5, I keep doing some Instagram posts. Oh my God, I'm losing money, I'm making money. But then I keep doing it. I make 1 post, 2 posts. Oh my God, now I make 5 grand, 7 grand, you know? And it's a skill-based system. This is ranked gameplay, bro. Let's get into step 2. All right, making the website. You can use AI store builders nowadays for making the website. However, there's different ways that you want to have your website for different types of products, depending on what you're selling. There's new ways that everybody is doing things. So what that means is that the way that you used to be able to test certain products has changed. It doesn't mean that they don't work anymore. It just means that the way that you have to test those products evolved into a little more complicated system. So for instance, some products you can't just run an ad and then send them to your Shopify store. You have to run an ad and then send them to what we call a pre-lander. It's a pre-landing page. This is the page that they get sent to before they hit your product. The reason why is because maybe your product is $80. Maybe there's a lot of competition or it's highly saturated. And the clicks that are clicking on your ads are what we call curiosity clicks. Okay. By the way, what I'm going to give you right now, the rest of this video is a lot. All right. If you want your handheld and you want to get through this and just have the process kind of laid out for you and be led into the profit over the course of 30 days, just tap in with me. I'm here to make money and so are you. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think I could have a return on my investment, which is my time. So this is completely free. You don't need to pay me nothing. This video will make you rich in itself. However, if you want to get very rich and you want to accelerate that process, tap in with me. The DMs is what it seems like a lot of you guys like to comment. It seems like a lot of you guys like to contact me through the DMs, so you can do that. But I do have a link down below as well that you can fill out, and then I'll shoot you a text personally from my personal line. Man, we can get things jumping and see if you're a good fit. Other than that, for the website and the pre-lander, let's say you're selling something that's a little higher ticket or it's weird. Maybe it's a medical device, which, I would steer clear of medical devices. Don't sell those if you're new to the game and you don't have certain certifications and you don't know how to comply with Facebook policies. That's more experienced. But sometimes you need to warm the person up because these curiosity clicks doesn't mean they are ready to buy. And it doesn't mean that they're ready to see the price either. Because most of the time when someone gets to your website, the price is going to be the first thing that puts them off. Really subconsciously, they're not ready for the price. But if you show it to them right now before trying to tell them anything or convince them about anything, then they're just going to click off, even though they may have purchased. because, bro, they weren't ready for the price in the funnel yet. It was a curiosity click. They were curious about the product, not the price. It was like someone asking you a question about this new ice cream you're making, and you don't even tell them about it. You're just like, yeah, buy it and try it. You're not going to buy it and try it. You're going to be like, nah, bro, you're weird. So that's what you're doing. Sometimes you need to warm them up. Send them through a pre-lander, give them all the game, all the information. Maybe not about the product, maybe about the problem that you're solving, right? They love that so much, they hit the button at the bottom of the page, they hit the next page. Now you're telling them about the product. They don't even see the price yet, bro. Dead ass. They're on the second page in, they don't even see the price yet. They see an add to cart button, but they don't see the price. They have to add to cart. You probably don't know how to do this. And just tap in with me if you need to know. However, they get to the page, they add to cart. They're seeing all the products, benefits. This is the regular landing page that you would normally bring them to. But now we're 2 pages in and they still don't see the price, but they're seeing all the features and the benefits. They click through just so they can see the price now because they're interested. You see how they're warm, they're hot. Now they're asking you, okay, how much do I have to pay you? Now, by the time those people get to your Facebook pixel, by the time they get to your checkout, by the time they get to your add to cart, bro, this is how you gain momentum faster with data, right? $1 million worth of game here in what, 20, 30-minute video I'm shooting here for you. They see the price after they put in their phone number, their email. They get to the next page so they can see the shipping and check availability. However you want to do that, Boom, now you hit them with the bundle offer, buy one, get one free, buy two, get two free. They came here asking you how much they had to pay you, and then you hit them with a good offer. This is how you get 6-7% conversion rate. Moving on to step 3, bro. Making the ads, how to market, where to market, and when to market for dropshipping. This is my favorite part. This is the nitty-gritty. The creative part, you can find creativity in all things, even running ads. It's cool to have a creative skill, or when you look at it that way, it's cool to have a skill that you can use creatively that also makes you rich. Let me put it that way, right? Which is opening up an ads manager and knowing how to create campaigns, ad sets, formulate all your budgets and your cost caps and your manual bids. There's a lot to it and it's fun. It's really cool once you get into it, bro. It's not that complicated. Well, there's a lot of moving pieces, but there's only a certain amount that you really need to worry about. And then once you get those down pat, it's like learning how to ride a bike. Once you learn how to ride the bike, you get to play. You know what I mean? It's relatively simple. Patience is key when you're testing and when you're running your ads. For instance, you might be profitable if you just sit down and let your ads run and go play fucking video games for 2 days, even though nobody tells you that. Or if you have the money, go build another store and get that process started. So one day you build one store. Let's say you can afford to spend $150 a day on ads. Like let's say you're a credit guy, you have credit cards, right? Whatever. You launch one store at $50 a day on Monday. You build the site. The site shouldn't take you longer than 2-3 hours with the steps that I provide. I haven't given all my game out for free, but there are ways to just make websites extremely fast and content that are actually custom and everything, but we'll get into that later on, right? But for making your ads, be patient. $50 a day. Have all of I just created a video on actually my testing strategy, so refer to that because that's exactly what I'm about to tell you. One campaign, it doesn't have to be a CBO campaign, right? Because at the first stage, if you're doing a $50 test a day, then you want to be testing all of the video creatives and the ad creatives that you have. You need to see which ad creative is going to be making you the most money, okay? And what that means is all the ads that you make are not going to be working. Let's say you make 20 ads, bro. 2 of them are going to be fucking profitable and the others are going to not work. Okay? That's why I tell you make custom ads, because when you're ripping content, you're automatically making all of your CPMs, your CTRs, you're making everything more expensive because that content has been used in the marketplace. And it's not even that it's saturated per se. It's just that Facebook doesn't want that. So they know, doesn't matter how they know, right? But they know that you're reusing content and they don't want that happening. It's like how YouTube, if you upload reused content on up YouTube, they literally notify users like, hey, we just made an update that, what was the recent policy they had about reusing content? Like, it's really easy for these guys to just code into the algorithm, read the metadata of these videos and tell us if it's reused content, and then automatically shadow ban the content a little bit, just make it more expensive because we know that that's not unique content. That's not original content. Obviously, if you own Facebook, if you own Instagram, YouTube, you would want original content on your platform, just like these people do. So that's why we make original content. And when we run those ads, you'll notice a massive difference. Even on a bad performing ads, they're performing better than ripped content because they're fresh, just in general. You know what I mean? Formulating your I'm going to skip over the ad creating process because I have a video on that, right? For each ad that you have, you're going to have one campaign, right? Let's say you're doing manuals, because I talked about the CBO. So let me actually talk about a manual campaign real quick. Instead of doing a CBO, you'll just do one regular campaign. We call it ad set budget. So an ad set budget optimization campaign, right? And then inside of that campaign, if you have 10 videos, you're going to have one video in each ad set. So you're going to have an ad set and an ad, and you're going to have one video in each ad set, right? And if you're targeting a niche, like I tell you to do, if you're starting small, then each ad set is going to have one interest that is relevant to your niche. So if you're selling something that has to do with teeth or shoes or whatever, or dogs, how I was using in the example, you're going to do Alaskan Huskies, Great Danes, and each ad set is going to have one interest inside of it. And you're going to launch, well, it depends. If you're going to do it that way, then you don't want to, if you're going to be doing interest testing, see, I'm getting jumbled up. That's more of a later step. If you're going to be doing interest testing, that's when you know what creatives are working for you, okay? But if you want to skip that step and go straight to the interest testing, then you'll literally put all 10 of your ads. If you have 10 videos, you'll put all 10 of your ads in each ad. So you'll have one campaign with an ad set with one interest, but then the ad that is in that ad set is going to have all of your video ads in it, right? Which works perfectly fine. It's just going to take you a longer time to gain momentum because if you're spending $50 a day, that's a lot of data that Facebook needs to churn through that's going on. It's not simple, right? So you can do that. You have to spend that $50 a day for longer. Like, it'll work. But if you don't do that first, and if you just do one campaign with your 10 videos and you don't target anything at all, so you do one campaign with an ad set you're not targeting anything, and then one of your video ads. So you do that 10 times, and each ad set has a new video in it. You're not targeting anything because you want to see which video is getting the best engagement and the most clicks and the best KPIs, right? Once you know which videos are getting the best KPIs, let's say it's 3 out of 10, you take those 3 videos, you remove, don't worry about the other 7 that were not performing well. Now we're moving on to the second campaign. So now with the second campaign, you have one campaign with 10 ad sets. Each ad set is going to have those 3 videos in it that were performing well, okay? And then each ad set is going to be targeting one interest within the niche that your product is operating in. Then you launch that at $50 a day. Each ad set is a $5 a day budget. You have 10 ad sets, $5 each, that's $50 a day. If you have more money, do $10 a day for a little more data. It works a little better at $10 a day, to be honest. But honestly, 5 and 10, for some reason, bro, testing at $5 and $10 a day on each ad set is amazing. Like, I don't know why it works so well, but if you compare that to testing at like $1,000 a day, it works so much more profitably if you just start it low and scale it anyways. So even though you're starting out trying to gain momentum slowly, even me as a pro marketer, I still do that. I still start it slow and then scale it up because it is a momentum based system. You do need to gather the momentum and the data regardless of how much money you have. Facebook will just eat up your money if you let them do it. TikTok will too. You know what I mean? TikTok is, they give you back money, which is really cool, but that's, whatever. So now for the actual videos themselves, most of y'all videos are trash. Straight up. Super trash. AI, everything, like it's obvious. You're not even being like creative. You're not even doing revisions or more renditions of this AI content. You're just running with it or something. I don't know. Bro, the first 2 seconds to 4 seconds need to be a hook calling out the problem, and they need to be showing the product, right? So that the problem needs to be being solved, or the problem needs to be so severe. So like, let's say the problem is a wow factor in itself that everyone is trying to solve, and it's not a saturated thing. So like, let's say it's a problem that isn't being solved very often, then you can use the problem to call it out. These are all different hooks that you can use in 10 different videos and see what works well. So use the problem to call out the hook. Use the product wow factor. If the product has a wow factor, do that for 2 to 4 seconds. What's in other good hooks is the competition. Call out the competition and bring up yours as a better solution. Yada, 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 right? After that, you're immediately going to want to go into what the person well, it depends on what the hook is. So leading from the hook, you're going to need to go into, most of the time it's going to be what they're receiving. Not as far as like in their package, but I'm like, how is their life going to improve? They don't care about what you're selling them, bro. They are watching still because they're curious on what's about to happen for them. Nobody buys your product. They buy what the product does for them, right? So you're hitting them with benefits, not features, benefits. Or someone talking about the benefit that they received and how it changed their life. Boom, that's another, after the 2 to 4 seconds, then you got like 3 to 5 seconds, let's say, of that, okay? Now, as you roll through this video, you're going to be backing it up. Social proof, not too much flashiness or anything like that, right? But some social proof. If you're doing a saturated product, then you're going to be using their social proof against them, right? For real. You're doing gritty, out of the mud, you ain't got no money, right? So you need to make it work for you. So you're going to YouTube, you're going to TikTok, you're finding all the reviews for their products, and you're chopping out the part where they say the other competitor's name, for real. And you're getting like the best part where they say this, they say that, this is great, this is amazing, I got 5 of them. And you have this 45-second video where it starts out with the 2 to 4 second problem or a call out, like a hook. Then you have the, some benefits, and then you have like what you got to do. Okay, so let me just keep. Then you have some benefits. Then you have some social proof. Then you have a couple of features, or maybe you have the social proof explaining the features, which is kind of like amazing. So let's say you have a bunch of reviews that are like, oh, I love this because of this feature. And then another person saying, I love this because of that feature, right? So you're condensing it and making it just like an amazing amalgamation of dopamine for the viewer. You know what I mean? You always need to have a really solid call to action. So usually it's best if you have like a social proof call to action or like a UGC call to action, but you could do it professional style if that's your style as well for the ad and the product. But if you're doing a professional style, then do like an actual voiceover, or pay for one of those AI services that do a really high quality voiceover that's real. Just real ads are going to convert better than AI. When you use real ads and incorporate AI into them, that's awesome. But when you only do an AI ad, that's low tier. So you want to at least be making your custom voiceover, right? And then incorporate an AI into that. Okay. Call to action. You can use CapCut, whatever they have. Shop Now, like you can literally edit. A Shop Now button swings in the screen and like you can do a whole bunch of stuff, as you see in the YouTube videos, which I kind of stopped doing because you guys really like this raw sit down shit where I don't do much and I just give you the raw game, and I'm not doing that hoorah fluffy. You know what I mean? But you need to have an audible raw call to action, okay? And if you don't, then your click-through rate is going to be automatically 0.5% less or 1% less. When it comes to your primary text and running your ads, like the text that pops up above your ads, and you do 3 points. So you do an emoji. Don't go too crazy with these emojis, guys. But an emoji, or an emoji and then line, or and then line an emoji, and then you do that 3 times because they see 3 lines, or it's 4, but they see 3, I'm pretty sure, and then it's a see more button. So what I usually do is I'll do an emoji line, and then it'll be the offer after that. So like benefit, offer, buy one get one free with like a finger pointing down, and then they see the see more button. You know what I mean? They click the see more button, and I double paste my link. So whatever the URL is, shopify.com, right? Or dropshipping.com, put that there. And then I have it twice because bro, you'll notice it increases your click through rate as well because they don't usually click for some reason. If someone's trying to click the one link, it doesn't always work. I know you have an iPhone, right? So we all have to do that. So I always double paste it, and it improves the clickability of the link. The offer, like the headline at the bottom where it's next to the shop now button. By the way, I always do shop now, never the order now, none of that. Just shop now, and then it's always in all caps. Click shop now, or like buy one get one free, or whatever it is, whatever the offer is, right? And Facebook gives you a lot of options on using like AI improvements, and it'll change a bunch of stuff for you and give you like 5 different versions, and you can read them and select what you want. And most of the time, they're pretty good. On to the next step. And I'm going to take a drink of my coffee, actually. This is a really good one, boys. Well, ladies and gents, I have 1.7% women. Shout out, y'all. Shout out the ladies. You will face problems. Avoid them. You will face hardships. And I will tell you what they are. And I will tell you the best ways you can try to avoid them, because it's not up to me, but I know the stipulations that they use and why they give you these problems. And I have been able to learn. I've spoken to enough of these guys over the phone that I found out why they do certain things and how I can stop that from happening or mitigate that from happening as much as possible. These hardships: payment holds from Shopify, payment holds from PayPal. Okay. PayPal is way more volatile than Shopify. PayPal holds your money over everything, but PayPal is also the easiest to solve. Okay. For PayPal, there's an app that you're going to want to download onto your Shopify store. I can't remember the name right now, but it's an app that automatically uploads all of your tracking information into your PayPal store, and you don't have to do anything. As you ship orders with the supplier that I'll give you as well. If you're in the mentorship, you got the suppliers, you have like a whole lot of stuff. But with the suppliers, as you fulfill with your supplier, and your supplier uploads tracking numbers and everything into your store, those tracking numbers automatically get uploaded into PayPal with this app, because your suppliers, they don't have access. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, nobody has access to your PayPal, right? At one point, I just turned off PayPal because conversion rates were so good that I've lost so much money to PayPal, bro. Thank God I figured it out after a while, but I lost a lot of money before I figured it out. Like multiple businesses. It was a point, it was like a year where, you're making a lot of money, so you're launching a lot of stores. I launched like 10 stores, and they all have PayPal hooked up to them, and all of them are just getting locked. Not even like rolling reserves where they reserve 25% of your incoming money. Like I would run them up because I just got really good, bro. So I would just have a store from nothing. It'd be a brand new PayPal account, and then it'd have $5,000 in it in 4 or 5 days. And bro, they would just bam up all my accounts, and I could not get any of the money. I honestly, I probably have like 3 or 4 accounts that I don't even remember what the emails are or anything, and they will just forever have that money. I remember there was one time where even like there was like $6,000. It wasn't even that much money at one time for one of these accounts, anyways. And they put a hold on the account for like 90 days or 180 days. So I couldn't use that PayPal account. Because like I told you, I blew the store up out of nothing. They froze the account. So I just removed PayPal off the store, and I'm selling through my other payment processor. And I think the time ends, and I get an email like, hey, your time ends, right? You can get the money back. So I call them like, hey, yeah, can I withdraw this money? And then this guy picks up the phone, and he's like, yeah, no, so we are not going to give you any of this money back. We're going to keep it for damages. And I'm like, bro, this is the business. The PayPal account was open for a week. What damages are you talking about? Like, so those people are predators, So I just started removing them. It's not even that, like, having that extra 1% conversion rate is amazing when you're starting out. So I would recommend you to use PayPal. But after a while, It's just bad business. That's why I don't use them anymore. Even though they might make me an extra mil a year, I don't like PayPal, bro. They've almost ruined my life at times where I needed the money that was in those accounts. And I've been waiting, like, oh my God, I have this money that I've been like, I need this money. And they just don't give it to me. I have a screenshot right here, Shopify. Or maybe I didn't put it there because this video is long as hell, but 38 or 39,000. Check one of my other videos. I promise I showed you guys in one of these other videos, just being held 40 grand by Shopify. And that's only 25% of the incoming funds that was coming in through the business. But I couldn't get that money for what, 6 months, 180 days. And that money is just piling up. At the time you see the screenshot, it's 40 grand. But I've had like $80,000, $90,000 payouts hit my account just from reserves. $130,000 payout hit my account from reserves, from money that was just accruing, you know. Thank God it wasn't more than that. I know people who have had millions of dollars, because once that started happening, I was doing everything I can to stop that from happening on my other stores. But at one point, I remember I just stopped working with Shopify completely. And you know how Shopify is, like Shopify payments? I found my own payment processors, bro. And I would open up a store and I would disconnect Shopify and I would connect my own payment processors. And you want to know something, bro? Shopify didn't like that. I would blow up stores, I'd make a lot of money, and Shopify's only making their $29 a month. You know what I mean? I don't know if they had a bone to pick with me at that time or something like that, but all is well. All is well. You know, we've all made money since then. So, but you will face problems, bro. And there are ways to get around this. I told you about the PayPal, how to resolve the PayPal thing. For them, it's just tracking. If they know that their customers are getting good service, they will not hold your money. Okay. What I recommend with PayPal is have an account that you've had open for a little bit at least. So open an account and don't use it for a month, or use it like open an account and then just like buy it, like actually use it regularly, buy stuff, as a business, like open a little business account, you know, season up your PayPal account. Because if you just spawn accounts out of nowhere and blow them up, boom, you're going to probably get bammed up and you're going to have to deal with this, that, and the third. If you do it under actual LLC, like an actual business, it'll make your life a lot easier. It's not expensive to set up an actual LLC. It's $100 or $200. I don't know. It depends on what state you're in. It's not that bad in Florida. And when you're setting up these accounts, instead of you putting in your social security number, you're going to put in your EIN number. And it's going to be connected to your business. They're going to see that it's connected to an official business, and that's automatically 35% better. Then you start adding tracking on. Now that's 80%. Now you're at 80%. That last 20% is up to you. How do you manage the money? How do you manage the account? How do you have disputes coming in? You know what I mean? Disputes, you want to keep your disputes under 1%. That means for every 100 orders, you need less than one person on average. So it doesn't matter. They'll give you a grace period if you're like 1.1%, but you start getting to 1.5%, 2%, then you're going to have a mystical rolling reserve red banner pop up on your Shopify account. Okay. So the way that you mitigate that is you also install an app on your Shopify store. Okay. It's a chargeback mitigator app. You can look at the reviews, see which one you want, but there is a literal app that you download onto your store. And whenever someone tries to put a chargeback, like a dispute, they call their bank and try to dispute your transaction, it will go to this app first. And you have a certain period of time that you can either refund the customer or email them and deal with that problem before it gets sent to Shopify. That will save your life, bro. All right? Moving on to the next step. These people are misleading you to make themselves rich. These people. What do you mean, you people? If you've seen Tropic Thunder, I love that movie. One of my favorites. I'm talking about a lot of the guys trying to sell you courses. I have a guy who joined my mentorship and someone charged him $4,500, bro. And one of the things outside of him being taught how to copy and paste, he was teaching them how you need to buy my business manager that I'm selling you. because you have a $50 a day spend limit. That is the most outrageous shit I've ever heard in my life. Every account has a $50 a day spending limit, even the one he's selling you. If you don't spend any money on the one that he's selling you, it's going to go down to $50. And then you spend some money, it'll go to $100 the next day. What, bro? The way that you actually know. When you scale, when you need to scale, right? So when you're first starting out and you're running these niche accounts, you're using your personal Facebook account and a personal business manager because you're only spending $50 a day. That's the whole point. Okay? Once you have something that's actually, because if you're making money with that $50 a day, you're only spending $50 a day for 3 days straight anyway. So by the time you get to the end of the 3 days or the 4 or 5, however long you spend it, your spend is going to be higher regardless. Now you're making a little money, you increase your spend keeps increasing. Once you get to a point where you're making thousands a day and you want to scale to large amounts, bro, you don't pay me. I'll direct you over to a real agency, to a real company where they sell you an agency account. It's like $2,000 or $2,500 or $3,000. These accounts are amazing, bro. It's amazing. You load them with money, you send them money, they give you access to a certain amount of money in your account, however much you send them. Sometimes with some agencies, you have to pay like 3% more. So if you want to spend $10,000 a day or in a week or whatever, and you send them 10 grand, you need to add 3% on top of that because that's their fee. You buy the account for $2,000 or $2,500, and then it's just 3% on top. So yes, it's 3% more expensive for you, and it takes off of your profit a little bit. But you have an agency account, you're not getting banned. You're making 10, 20, 30 grand a day. Do you want more? Do you want a bigger piece of a smaller company? Or do you want a smaller piece of a bigger company, bro? Come on now. Common sense. Don't let these people scam you. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you anything that you want to hear just so I wish you would give me 4,500 so that I can tell you how to copy and paste. Bro, I don't even charge 4,500 to tell you what actually works, bro. If you look, you don't also need to buy any courses. Okay, everything is for free. I've been the guy. The reason I'm making this video is because I've been the one. I dropped out of high school when I don't even remember what age, because I didn't go to school for a while. And then my dad was like, bro, you got to drop out and do something. So, but at a early grade in high school, that's what I'll say. And all I had was dropshipping, bro. I'm 27 now. All I had was this online thing. It started with what you guys know now as freelance brand scaling, right? But it's really social media marketing agency. That's literally all it is. It's been around forever. The freelance brand scaling way is just a way that they market it now. They quote it. They create a new term for the algorithm and for tags and keywords. They create their own thing, their own ecosystem, and they're killing it right now. All respect to those guys, bro. But that's how it started for me, right? I learned how to market, and I learned that, I can do this social media marketing thing. But once I figured out how to market, I was like, why would I market for you if I can sell this shit out of China and build a website in a day? Once I got locked on that, it was like, bro, why would I sell you my service when I can just provide my service to myself since I know it works? That whole freelance brand scaling thing is it appeals a lot to the younger audience who doesn't have any money. And they see people like, you can go from zero to so-and-so just by talking on the phone and selling emails. But, you got a lot of pressure on you doing that, because first you need to know how to market. Or maybe you think you don't need to know how to market and that you can just sell and figure it out. But, bro, these are businessmen. So you sell them something that you can't deliver on, and then they just call their bank and get their money back instantly. And now you're negative 5,000 or negative whatever money that they sent you. Because I know how to call a bank and get my money back, bro. Or if I'm giving you a service, I spend it on my credit card. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of flaws in that whole ecosystem of trying to teach people how to do that, right? What I'm telling you is a skill-based system. It's dependent on you. I give you the keys, you get information, and then there you go. Like, This is literally a skill-based, you spend money and make money. It's not betting on an algorithm to go viral or, you know what I mean? It's literally, this is how you sell a product. You make a website in this way. You market it in this way with this type of video. You test it in the market. You get the information from the data that those ads are giving you. If your cost per clicks are expensive, then you need a better call to action or a better offer. Okay. If your CPMs are high, then you need a better hook. You need to stop people from scrolling in their feed. Okay. Maybe you need a better headline. Maybe your picture is fucked up in your profile, and that you know, just look at all of it, right? Just branded drop shipping. This isn't ghetto style, you know. It's brands, bro. You might be a small company, but you're not trying to look like you don't know what you're doing. The whole point is to have a storefront. You know what I mean? Hey guys, for sale. It's not like you're at a shack with a garbage trunk full of mangoes. You know what I mean? So let's get to the next step. Huh, I love this one. Don't copy and paste because you will lose to me. Why are you copy and pasting from Calo Data, bro? You and I find the same product. I don't copy and paste it. My ads will outperform you. And I have more money than you. What makes you think that you can just copy? I mean, if you have money, if you have credit cards, however you do things, and you can afford to rapid fire test a bunch of products, the copy and paste method works in spades, right? If you're me and you can rapid fire 10 products in a week and have all of them running at the same time, I'm spending $1,000 a day, I'm testing products. I know how to scale products. So I know that I can lose 10 grand. I find one product that works. And then the next week I make 20 grand from that one product. You need money to do that. The people who teach you how to copy and paste, we have money, bro. We have credit, we have business credit, we have assets. I'm not teaching you how to do something that you can't do because you can't copy and paste and compete with me. I can test a product from copy and paste and then immediately have a branded store around it the next day after it works. Like you'll have a copy and pasted store and then run it for a month with copy and pasted ads. I just need to test the fucking product, test it. Does it work? Cool. Custom everything. That's why it doesn't work for you, bro. You need to go custom. You need to go niche. You need to do what I'm telling you. Do a niche one product dropshipping store. Go back to the basics. Keep it as simple as possible. Niche one product Shopify dropshipping store. Okay. I have a $1 3-month trial so you can mitigate the amount of money that you're spending down below. Okay. Even for the mentorship, bro. Finance. I don't give what you do, bro. Mitigate the amount of money that you spend. Even if you can afford to spend something in cash, spend someone else's money if you can. We're using other people's money to get rich, bro. I know you've heard that before. Credit. Credit is king. That's actually one of the steps coming up here, and I'm going to explain how you can use it at a young age, bro, and just get a ton of it. 30 grand a day is not hard. 1,000 a day is hard. Okay. And I think most of you know this, or maybe you don't, because if you're I had someone just message me, right? He's at $500 a day and doesn't know what to do. If you're at $500 a day, bro, you're there. You're just 5 things away from being there, okay? And this is gonna sound, you're gonna think it doesn't work. Bundles, offers, buy one, get one, whatever your offer is, buy one, get one half off, okay. Average order value, what complements your product. If you have these things already that I'm about to say and they're not working for you, then it's because they're not working. Like it's not, the market is telling you that that's not what they want, so change it, okay? So the average order value you need to increase. This will increase all of your front end, and I'm gonna give you some real practical game. Average order value, bundles, offer, bundle app on your store, okay? Don't do flashy flash, sale. Just bundle app on your store, sticky add to cart, yada, 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 right? Insurance updates or upcharges in the cart. So they get to add to cart, $5 for insurance if you want to, or expedited shipping, or skip the line for processing, however you want to frame it, right? It doesn't even have to be real. You can just add a checkbox using an app called iCart, ICART, Shopify. Put that in there, blah, 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 right? That's an extra $5-7 per order. There you go. You could charge for shipping, okay? There's $2 for shipping, right? You can add 99 cents on the back end of your number. If you're charging $39, add 99 to it, or add 67 to it, okay? What else? Average order value after sell. So after they make a purchase, download an app on your store called After Sell, okay? It's a post-purchase upsell app. You figure out how to use it. I'm giving you the game already, right? These are the keys and you go open the doors. After sell, go figure out how to set it up and everything. But after they purchase, it's insanely, incredibly easy to sell someone a product that they already purchased. Sell them the exact same product, the exact same, okay? If they just bought a shower head, like the public case studies that I tell you guys about, that I show you a lot of numbers from, they would finish their purchase and then they get to the thank you page. But before they have to scroll down to even see their order confirmation. They don't even know if it's a finished order yet. They get hit with congratulations, you've unlocked a 33% discount or whatever. And it's the same exact product, bro. And the amount of people that took that is incredible. That shot up the average order value. You know what I mean? So after sell, iCart, average order value, bundle apps. Use Pumper bundles if you want to. Atlas AI for your store building, okay? Atlas AI. So you're not spending, I don't want to see anybody spending a week anymore building their stores. Atlas AI. If you don't know how to build a store, bro, fucking Atlas AI. Get a bunch of good pictures. There's actually an app. I don't know what the app is called, but I have a bookmark. I always use it. It's literally it's a website where you go and you just put the URL of your competitor, wherever you found the product, and it rips every video that they have, every photo, and it gives it to you. So you don't have to you get what I'm saying? And then you give all those videos and photos to Atlas AI when you're building your store, and then it'll generate this crazy store for you, you know, and then you start editing it, you finish it, you just clean it up and make it how you want it, and then you move on in the process, you know? What else for increasing the profit, increasing the money? Offer a more expensive product while they're shopping. Like you bring them into the product, but let's say they're scrolling down the product page and they hit like just released, and it's like a better version of what you were advertising. It's a better version and it's more expensive, right? That's a nice little way to upsell as well. Yeah, okay. Next step. These last three steps are really all the same thing, and they all revolve around credit. Risk management and drop shipping, money, credit, how to grow when you're breaking even, and credit for business. So I already spoke about having an LLC. You're going to need that. Plug that into your Shopify, plug that into your PayPal, plug that into your Facebook Business Manager. This is going to stop you from getting restricted and from getting banned everywhere. Additionally, as you grow your business, you're going to have a small little business, right? Shopify is going to offer you money. They're going to loan you money. You're going to have a banner pop up in your Shopify account saying, hey, we'll loan you 30 grand and you just repay it out of 10% of your sales. You know, that's how you grow when you have no money. Or since you have this LLC and you have a business bank account, a business checking account with that LLC that you opened, you're getting paid to that business bank account, which means that when you need money most, there are banks that you can go to and be like, here, this is my credit. This is how much money my bank account shows for this business. And they will loan you the amount of money that you average on a monthly basis. If you're a young business under the age of 2 years, they will loan you only the amount of money maximum that you make in 1 month on average. So if you've had the business for 6 months or a year and they see on average you make 10 grand a month, they'll loan you 10 grand and you pay it back however you pay it back based on your credit, right? That's a whole nother story. I'm not a financial advisor. So growing when you have no money is by leveraging knowledge, credit. Don't over leverage your credit. Don't spend more money than you have. If you notice that your ads are going to cost you some money on the weekend and you know you're not getting paid on the weekend from Shopify, don't increase your ad spend, bro. Your ad staying on is more important than you benefiting from that weekend rush of sales, I promise you. Because if your ads shut off and you can't keep them on, you're going to have to restart your momentum. Bro, keeping your ads turned on and that Facebook account active is like your number one priority. Don't let it get disabled. Hook up your business managers to businesses. Don't let these people sell you business manager accounts. Bro, don't let nobody charge you $4,500 to tell you how to copy and paste. And go get rich, bro. If you want to do this easily, if you want me, 11 years, ironically enough, 11 million generated, I will teach you. I will hold your hand and guide you one-on-one, bro. From zero to profit. I even have a little profit guarantee that I started offering, which is I will work with you until you regain the amount of money that you spent working with me, like in profit. It's not a hard thing for me to do. We're talking, we're doing one-on-one calls. It's relatively simple, bro. For me, it's easy. I give you products. You have the layouts for the stores. You have free themes. It's not that hard for me to do. I'm invested in making money, and so are you. This is a business. I'm here to make money, and so are you. So you finding success makes me more successful because more people want to come and work with me. You know what I mean? My goal from here is to build big business. Big business. I want to scale brands to 10 million a month, 20 million a month. So this personal brand is going to get me there. And it starts with stuff like this, right? I'm 11 million in totality. I'm trying to do 11 million a month, 11 million a day. I'm trying to experience the world, not just life. And I hope you are too. This has been Dro, aka Wealth, and Dro Kinghorn. Tap in with me. It's been nice.